This video has been brought to you by Shattered Galaxy. Literally the best PvPers in the entire game. Peace, peace, guys.
Guys, it's Colby. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be going through explaining the rules of the Shattered Galaxy server. This video has been requested, and we are having issues with people understanding the rules. When I originally wrote them from my point of view, so they're kind of written so that I understand them, but I can see how a lot of them are ambiguous towards people that are either starting the game or haven't quite gotten into PvP like other players. My boy Myth is here with us, your mod on the server. He's going to be helping us out explaining some of them.
Yo, what up?
Alright, so we're gonna just read it right off the website, and if you guys want to follow along, I guess, while you're watching the video, I'm not gonna really have an overlay up, so we're gonna start with the first one. It's about combat logging. This means that you're attacking somebody or you're defending, and if you're defending, you log off, your offline protection goes up, and it ends the raid. There's something the other player can do to stop this, which is why it's against the rules. So there's different discrepancies in here. One of them is if the other player is obviously not at the site of the battle, maybe he's got several bases, he's at one across the planet, how is he supposed to know that somebody's raiding him? We don't require people to announce their attacks, that'd be dumb. So what we do instead, and our solution to the problem was, is if you can see an enemy flying a ship or any other vehicle like in your line of sight, or you can see them on the map, and you can get evidence of that, and then you see them log out, it's considered combat logging. So we're just going to do a little demonstration and show you what we mean by that. So right now, if you look at my screen, you can see Mist flying around, and I can see him flying around. So right now I could take a screenshot or have video recording software up and have proof that we both know that the other is here. Or there's at least a good, 99% chance certainty that we both know the other is here. Now, if I back out of range, I can still see him. So you don't need that marker. You don't need to be within turret range to see it. We can still see each other. And what I mean by map, let's go back to that topic. If I come over here and I get super close, if you look at my right hand corner up of the map, you can see that little green player arrow in the ship. If you see that at any point, you see that, then you know the player's there, and they know you're there for sure because you're on their map as well. So those are the three types of kind of evidence you will need if you want to accuse somebody of combat logging. If you can't provide those to me, I cannot say beyond a doubt that that person combat logged knowingly that you were raiding them. Yeah, that's how we kind of operate the server, kind of like the U.S. justice system. I need to know for sure that something happened. I'm not going to hit somebody with a strike or a ban if I can't have like definitive proof that they did it on purpose. So bad evidence of combat logging. So Myth, go ahead and fly like 600 meters out, somewhere where you can't see me.
Okay.
Damn, that render distance is far. You're gonna have to keep going.
Right? I just hit the wall. I still see you, dude.
Oh, there we go. Alright,
This
this, if I was attacking and he happened to log out right now, I can't prove that he knows that I'm attacking. It wouldn't be combat logging. I can see where there could be some abuse of the way we cut this rule, like he could just flash out quick and see you before stuff, but like you can't make anything 100% certain. Don't be that loser that sees somebody attacking, flashes out of their screen quick so that they can't get a screenshot, or doesn't really see you and then logs out. Don't be that person. But that's what I mean when like they couldn't know you're there. Like I don't see him right now. I cannot prove that he knows this base is under attack. He's out of visual range. He's definitely out of sound range. He's not going to hear his turrets going off. It's not like there's a radar in game right now, so that takes care of combat logging. Oh, yeah, the last little discrepancy with this. If your whole base dies and you have no fighting capabilities, you're still not allowed to walk out if the other person is still attacking you. Yeah, you can't fight back, but they've killed your defenses and beaten you. They're entitled to loot your stuff and take your stuff away. If you need to log out for whatever reason, you got work in the morning, you're sick, an emergency happens, either set your bases to public so they can still get in them and the offline won't trigger, or kill your offline protections first and then log out. Those are your two options. Otherwise, I'm sorry, even if it's an emergency, it's still going to be combat logging. Alright, on to rule number 2, no placing turrets in the water or underwater. That should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to assume most people can understand what that means. It's because you cannot fire through the water with an SV or HV, but the turrets can fire back up through the water at you. and I don't expect people to die thousands of times trying to place a couple explosive charges underwater on these turrets. So that's why that rule exists. It's just an unbeatable position in the game right now. On to rule 3, no bases under the mantle. This doesn't mean underground. This means the red portion of the ground that you eventually get to is a lava bedrock kind of thing that you can't dig under. If some people have been able to put cores under it, if I find a core under there, that base is getting deleted and you're getting a strike, or yeah, it's 1 strike for this rule. I don't want to see that. It's just you can't kill the core. It's in a block that can't take damage, so we don't allow that here. Now this is the rule that's people have been really asking for clarification on, the no spawn camping rule. So we'll start off just line by line. So the main version of this is building bases within range of other bases. And by range we mean the auto fire. So if your base and you build one next to a base that was there before you, I don't care if it was there 5 seconds before you spawned yours or 40 years. If it's there before you, they own the plot of land. You can't spawn a base within firing range of it. So right now, I'm over 500 meters away. You can tell that because on planet 500 meters is the draw distance before you get the red marker. So if I get closer, you see on my scope 400, and after I get to 500 it disappears. Our rule is 550. So if you're going to really be precise about this, back up, yep, 500's not on the scope anymore, and then I want you to back up some more, and then you're going to place your base. So I'm going to place a badly positioned base to show you what happens and why we don't let it happen, in order to kind of go through this. So right now I'm well within firing range of Mage's base. Oh, I forgot that that was above ground like that.
Oh, hello.
I'm going to fill the ammo up, and it's powered. Now, it should fire once it reloads.
Why is it on a stilt?
That's the core. It was supposed to go underground. I forgot that this was that version of it. It should fire at that base. It looks like, oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Yeah, so if you place a base and it does that, that's no good. I'm deleting your base and you're getting a strike. I don't want to see that happening. It's just unfair to do that to people. Yes, technically their base should be ammoed and wreck your day before you get the chance to do it, but I don't want to see this happening. Bases that you place that are within range of auto firing. So that's gone. So now we're going to go over good base placement. If you want to be super precise about it, just follow the steps I'm using. I'm going to sight my scope in, still within 500, and outside 500. Take a couple steps back, go into blueprints, back up even more because my blueprint's really far in front of me. Be aware of that. Your blueprint's not spawning on your body, it's in front of you, and then it could also be blocks in front of that. So even if you're at your feet are at 500, that doesn't mean the base itself is going to be at 500. It could be at 450, which is within range. The rule on our server is 550. As long as it doesn't really fire, I'm not going to get concerned about it, but just use that as your kind of waypoint. Oh, I forgot ammo. Alright, so we loaded it up. Turrets are not aiming at him, they're aiming at predators, so they don't see that base over there. It's too far away. My turret's not sighted on it. This is a good placement. His turrets can't fire at it, my turrets can't fire at it. Good news. Now this doesn't cover manually firing, since that gives you a little extra range on your artillery turrets. Well, any turret, but it mostly is used on artillery. So if somebody's still firing artillery at you, you need to verify the distance, not just claim hacks and abuse. Because they can place the base correctly and still have an artillery turret. They can get in manually through the base and fire at you to get that little bit of extra range, just like you can do on an HP. But like if they're gonna take a person away from the battle to fire one artillery turret, I'm sure you guys can handle it. I believe you're competent enough at PvP to do that. On to the other parts of this. So this also includes warp in points. Mainly that spawn camp is a little bit different. The warp in sectors, so when you warp in to a new space orbit, it's like a 2-kilometer radius sphere, I think. It's either 2 kilometers radius or diameter, and that's where you're gonna spawn in that like area. I don't want to see bases in any of that area. Mainly this would cause issues when large fleets coming in at once. You know, the game locks up a little bit, it's not optimized, people take forever to load in, but the game still sees it as loaded in, the server sees it as loaded in, so this person's waiting 5 minutes to get back into the game, all the while their ship's being fired at by turrets and they can't do anything about it. So that's why we don't allow mining of warp in points. You can have bases at the warp pinpoints. They may not have turrets on them. It's the thing. If it doesn't have turrets, that base is fine. If I see turrets at a warp pinpoint, base is getting deleted, finding the person who placed it, and you're getting a strike. Last thing about spawn camping, this doesn't include me killing somebody over and over again in the middle of a battle. That's not spawn camping, that's me taking you out of the fight. You're still an enemy combatant. I don't know what you have in your blueprints. I don't know what you have somewhere 200 meters off base. I don't know what you have in orbit. You could have lots of things that you can come back and continue the fight in. So I'm just going to keep killing you over and over again while I loot or while I continue to kill your base. That's not spawn camping. It would be after the fight's over and I keep killing you. You know, I've looted your base, everything's dead, and I'm just sitting there laughing my ass off while I pop 2 sniper rounds in your brain. That's spawn camping because the fight's over. There's nothing either of our sides can do. I can't loot anymore, it's all gone. You can't fight anymore, it's all gone. And I'm just killing you because it's funny. That would be spawn camping, but I haven't seen that really happen. Nobody wants to waste their time killing somebody that doesn't have any loot on them. I think that about covers rule number 4, no spawn camping. Yeah, so we'll go on to 5, keep general chat cleanish. I don't care if you guys curse, troll, whatever. Be a little edgelord, does not matter to me. I'm not really going to censor anything. I just don't want to see the Holocaust didn't happen, kill the Jews, burn them in a fire. I don't want to see that in my chat. I don't want to see factions named very offensive things. I got a really loose term on that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't need to see 4chan boards showing up in my chat right now. So just, you know, keep a lid on anything that's super oversensitive, or you know it's going to start a huge fight. Nobody wants to deal with that. This is a game, not a little, you know, politics talk. Number 6, no exploitation of the infinite live system. So Myth, go ahead and get out of your SV and come over to the base.
Sure.
Let me ammo it up.
Oh yay.
Alright. Yeah, so
The turn got rolled off.
yeah, that'd probably be helpful. So right now we see our turrets just firing and killing Myth.
They are set to Predator first.
That's so dumb, they
Oh.
should've.
Dodged one already. I can do this, guys.
Let's watch Myth run through a minefield.
I can do this. Yo, it's gonna happen too. Watch this. It's gonna happen.
Are you still dodging?
Yep, this is called the PvP strafe. It's a yeah.
Oh, they're still. You know what? Get off.
Came up with it myself.
Ah.
Yeah, I died.
Alright, so he's died once. While the turrets were firing at him, he was a single player. If he does this a bunch of times, like he's going to, he's gonna respawn and keep coming back at the base.
Round 2, boys.
That's, yeah, no good if he's gonna keep doing it. He's right there.
Yo, that Helmet Rocket's looking at me. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they've seen it, but the point of this rule is he has infinite lives right now. Nothing in the game penalizes you for having X amount of deaths or makes it, you know, respawn slower with every consecutive death in X amount of minutes. So people have used this to just, you know, respawn over and over and over again outside bases to waste their ammo because ammo costs something, lives don't. Don't do that. That's an issue. It's undefendable. No, they can't just fill their base with more ammo. That's not how that works. So yeah, I don't want to see that happening. That's pretty much rule 6. Don't exploit this in any way, shape, or form. We understand if you're respawning trying to get away from the base, that's completely different than respawning and running at the base. Alright, on to rule number 7. Oh yeah, back to rule number 6 real quick. Yeah, don't use your drone for this either. It's not just yourself, your drone's infinite as well. Don't use your drone to do the same exploit. Alright, rule number 7, no harassing. This doesn't mean in chat, don't call somebody a meaty face. This means I don't want to see the same faction who just wiped another faction attacking them 2 days later. It causes issues. It's not fun for either faction. You're just wiping somebody that doesn't have anything. Again, don't, you know, be reasonable. There's no reason for you to go kill that other faction the day after you killed them. Give them a little while to recover. This action will actually kill servers, so it hurts the server, it hurts the other players. It's no fun for you unless you're really that sadistic, so just don't do it. This is super subjective. I'm not going to put a time limit on it. Obviously, bigger factions will get set. Oh, there comes the drone. Bigger factions will get set up quicker than smaller ones. Personal anecdote: me and Myth used to fight a lot on another server, and we were raiding him probably every 2 to 3 days. But every 2 to 3 days, they were up the fighting force, multiple CVs, multiple SVs, several bases. You know, they were able to take on several hour fights. Little Timmy Two Shoes and his buddy Tommy will definitely not be up for that fight every 2 or 3 days. So, you know, it's all within reasonable limits.
Poor Tommy.
On the rule number 8, no promotion of other servers. It's the first part of this rule, so I don't want to see go HWS. It's better than this shithole in the server. I don't know. I hate this rule because it rides close to censorship, and I don't like that. But at the same time, this is our server. I don't. If you want to go play somewhere else, go play somewhere else. I'm not gonna beg you to come back. Nobody can stop you. So just go play there. There's no reason to really advertise anybody else on there. Every other server has the same rule. You will get banned in most servers for saying come to this server, it's better, or what about this server, how do you guys like it, with the obvious intention of advertising it. So that's the first part. Second part is no unfounded accusations at anybody or mods or admins in general channels. And by this I mean pretty much every channel except your private PMs. So I don't want to see, you know, faction CEE is combat logging, and then when I go to ask you, hey, where's your proof of them combat logging, so I can, you know, dig into this, and if they actually did give them a strike. Well, I don't have it, it just, you know, seems like they are. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. You need to show me some hard evidence. I mean, there's no, if you're gonna just accuse people of things without evidence, even if it did happen, then I can just accuse you of doing it, and we can all just battle back and forth with endless accusations without evidence. So I'm going to need some evidence of things, especially when it comes to mod or admin abuse. I myself is an admin, so you don't come to me if you have a complaint against Colby. You're going to go to Mage SW. He is the kind of out-of-game admin, so he doesn't have any, you know, stake in the game right now. He just likes to run the server with me. He's very impartial. If I do something bad, I will be kicked from the server, so if you have a problem with anything that's going on with me, you bring it to Mage. You don't got to worry about me trying to decide my own fate here. If you have a problem with Myth as a mod, you bring it to either Mage or me. Like if there's any problem with any mods in the future, in this video right now it's just Myth, but if there's any problems with them, you just bring it to the admins. If they did something very bad, they will be banned from the server. So, and they understand that when they took the job. I think that's about it, but yeah, you guys need proof. I don't want to see any accusations without proof. Number 9, this rule is also super subjective, so I'm going to try and give it a lot of explanation. Attack within reason. Don't go beat up that 2-man faction with your 9-man fleet. Alright, so straight off the bat, this doesn't mean players. I'm not talking about you have to bring equal numbers to a fight. That's not what I'm saying at all, because that would be dumb, and you'd be raiding at somebody else's time schedule. What I'm saying is if you have a 9-man faction and they have a 2-man faction, don't go in there 9v2. That's not, you know, that's just kind of, 1, it's boring. Personally, I think it's boring. 2, is just not really fair. I don't really care about fairness that much, but at the same time a 9v2 is just really close to unwinnable unless one faction is not good at the game and the other faction is very good at the game. Personal anecdote again, my faction took on a 12v2. We won the 12v2, but it was because we were defending and we were much better than the attacking faction, and we also had help from our friendly ally here, Myth, and a couple of other strangers that came in with a ship or 2 throughout the 6-hour raid. We'll go back to this anecdote later as well. It will be featured in another rule, but yeah, I'm not, back to the other, like the numbers game, I'm not giving you a hard limit. But personally, I don't think 4v1s are really, that's not bad. If you're defending a 4v1, it's very possible to do it. And Myth can attest to it, I can attest to it, we've all done that. Yeah, it sucks, and it's not the most fun thing in the world to defend that 4v1. Especially when you're outgunned, as in like your ships aren't up to par with theirs, you know, that kind of thing. You weren't expecting it, it's not fun. but you still need to do it, and it's okay for people to do it. As a general rule, once you start getting into the 5v1, 6v1 territory, I'll probably clamp this rule down, but as your numbers go up, it's not linear. So I'll let people take 3v10s, 3v8s, and I'll let people take 2v10s and stuff like that. I'm not going to really be that antsy on the rule that much. It's not a linear growth of, hey, well, 1v5 is not okay, so 2v10 is not okay. Maybe it is. It really just kind of depends. It's a very subjective rule. I don't want you guys to hide behind this if I find that you're hiding behind it instead of just, you know, playing the game. And if it happens to happen, you do it. If I find you, you know, claiming it all the time without any real reason for it, you know, you 1v2'd and you freaked out and complained about this, use this rule as your reasoning, you're going to get the strike instead of the person that's attacking you with the extra odds. I think that's it. Oh, this rule also doesn't apply, so it's kind of weird with the way alliances work, especially on our origin leaders and how that's set up, and you can talk to your origin leader about stuff about more about that. It's a different topic. But I'm not really, like, if you're going after a planet and it happens to turn into, you know, a 2v10, 2v9, 3v15, something like that, and they're allied with other people, this rule is going to get less and less used. If I know that you're a small faction and you're allied with a bigger one, and the whole purpose of the way this server is organized is so that your allies can help you, I'm going to be a lot less, I'm going to be more hesitant, I guess, to put this rule into effect, knowing that your allies can help you. Or if you are getting caught up in the battle, so you decided to base next to a big faction that you know is going to get hit a lot, you decided to base on that planet knowing that this was a possibility, I'm not going to have really any mercy or sympathy for you. You based there, you understood what might happen, maybe you thought you could hide behind the rule, maybe you were just naive, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to hide behind this one. It's very subjective, it won't be put into place a lot, but it's there just so I have something to point at if things get way too out of hand with the outnumbering of certain people, and big factions, you know, just kind of trying to run little ones off and beat up on them. Oh, this also isn't going to apply if you go and attack that big faction first. So you're that 2-man, you go attack that 9-man, and they come back and do a full run. I'm not going to let this apply. This is more or less, you know, first contact kind of scenario. If you're going to start a war with the big dog, you better be able to play with the big dog. I don't want you to go, you know, be a little chihuahua, nip at that pit bull's like hind legs, and then go hide behind mama and say he's abusing the rules, he's outnumbering me. Yeah, I'm going to let him punch you in the face. It's Alright, enough of that rule, we spent enough time on that. On to rule 10, don't always attack when people need to go to bed. This is another very subjective rule, and one that I need super evidence for it to be enforced. This is back where I was talking about the antidote, that 2v12, so the full story of that fight is that faction had been watching us and admitted to watching when my guys would log off and go to bed, and then would attack. So the first night they attacked 2v12. As soon as my guys logged off, they showed up in orbit. You can actually see the blue flashes when people show in your orbit if you know where the spawn point is, which we look at a lot. And so we saw them warp in. We took the 2v12 the next day, same time. Guys log off, they show right up in orbit. So that's why this rule exists for situations like that, where a faction is knowingly coming in the minute most of your guys log off with their full force, and then saying, well, we didn't know they were going to log off. It's hard to prove one way or the other, but be reasonable, guys. Come on, we all have real lives. This is a game. Somebody needs to go to work in the morning, you know, they need to log off sometimes. Don't bring a 6-hour raid to somebody's doorstep at 3 in the morning. That's not okay. More than likely I'll let them log out to go to bed, and you just wasted a lot of your time. I also don't want to see this rule used at 10 at night. Hey server, I need to go to bed. I just got attacked, this isn't okay. Yeah, no, you're gonna have to either set your bases or stuff. It's more or less super, like, you know, early in the morning of the next day that you're getting attacked and the raid's gonna draw out for a while. That's when this rule is gonna come into effect. I understand there's different time zones. Some of you guys are from Europe, some of you guys are from Australia, some of you from the West Coast, East Coast of the United States. There's time differences and it can be difficult, but just try and be mindful of each other. Tex does a very good job of this. The faction Tex has been attacking the faction SWJ and Blanco Draco, and Blanco sometimes has to go due to some complications, and as soon as Tex knows about it, they back off because they've talked to Blanco. They understand that it's a real life issue that he's dealing with, and they let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Myth can attest to this. Myth is Blanco's origin leader, and he's been in these fights with him. They're very good about it. They end the raid. Blanco doesn't abuse it. He knows that sometimes this happens, but he tries to stick in there as long as he can. So,
Raid break.
yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. Try and be like Blanco. Don't try and be like other people. But he's a very good role model. If any of you ever talk to him, he's a good guy. On to rule number 11, no permanent buildings in the core zones. So let me go to my map and show you what I mean by that. So core zones is these nice little, these right here, the dark blue and the white. I don't want to see buildings in there. I don't have the PvE map right on me now, but if you're PvE, it's the systems that have special ores on the game of PvP. That system has gold, it's a coastal, a restroom, or it's a farm system. Well, it's a farm system, you're letting yourself get wiped on if you put bases down there, but that's besides the point. I don't want to see bases there. That's the only place you can get rare ores like that in the server right now. It's built that way to cause conflict. People will get raided while they're mining, stuff like that. Pirates can go have some fun and be pirates if they want to. I don't want to see bases there. I don't need you covering up nodes and putting auto liners down, or trying to catch somebody like that. If I see a base in there, I'll delete it, find the person that placed it, and they get a strike. I'm okay with a small base that is there to protect your CV while you land with your HV, a couple blocks, a couple turrets, but I don't want to see big combat steel monstrosities on that planet. So that's that rule. That should be really easy for you guys to follow. Yeah, it's okay. I've covered this. It's okay to kill people and extort them in these systems, but don't base here. Rule number 12, get off starter planet by level 25. Starter system can be wiped every week. This is listed in the back and somewhere else in the Discord as well on the website. Starter systems wipe Monday, 11 p.m. Eastern. Farms wipe Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern. Once you're level 25, I expect that you are leaving the starter or leaving within the next few hours. If you don't feel comfortable leaving, as in you don't think that you have enough time to really build up to leave, you need to go watch the video on the website about how to start off on the server. It covers everything. You can get off the starters on the server by level 10. So when you can get a warp drive. A lot of people do it. My faction's done it. It's not a super trick. There's no real big trick to it. It's just resource management and not expecting to get out of there with everything. By level 25, you can get out of there with a starter CV and a bunch of resources. No, you will not ever get out of there with a fleet ready to be prepared to take on the PvP world. That's not going to happen, except that right now. But you will get out of there with something, and you can land. Nobody in the server, or at least most people in the server, aren't there to go take out your little class 1 CV and your 5 auto miner course. They're not after that. It's not fun for them to go shoot 3 homing rockets to kill your core and kill you with an assault rifle. They're after the bigger people that have more stuff. It's a funner raid. It's more even. If people do blow you up, most of the time, you complaining in general about X faction picking on the new guys will get enough people rallied around you to go kill them or even give you some stuff. It's also the point of origin leaders. There's safe areas, well not safe, but safer areas to base in the system. You base around the people in your origin and ally with them. Obviously, it's a lot less likely for your own origin to attack you than it is for another origin. So if you decide to go base in expanse space while you're a pirate, well, I'm not going to have any sympathy for you when you say that you got blown up. There's incentives for people to keep their systems of only their origin and for, just killing people in general. So don't freak out that you don't have, quote unquote, a lot when you leave the starters, but also realize that you have resources at your disposal through your alliances and your origin leader to kind of help you as you get off the starter. It is okay to go back to the starter when you're level 25 to go grab other people or help people off when the wipe's coming and they can't get off themselves. However, if I see you back there and you're not grabbing somebody, or you're not, helping people off that star, you're just there mining or trying to keep your ship safe because the planet's PvE, I'm not giving you a warning. I'm deleting your ship, everything you own, you're good. You're going to get a couple strikes. Might even ban you if I'm really in a bad mood that day. The server's about PvE. Yeah, the server's about PvP, guys. Accept it. If you want to play PvE, there's a PvE side to the server. There's 2 separated sides with 2 separated purposes. Pick the one you want to play. You can transfer anytime you want. You don't get to take anything when you transfer, but you can switch your playstyle up if you find one isn't suiting you. So don't feel trapped. Alright, on to 13. Keep your... Oh, Myth, did you blow up my ship?
What?
No, you didn't?
No.
Oh, nice. Alright, so we're gonna go talk about this 15
Turtle Hill.
kilometer rule. So we do have a script that checks for ships and bases outside 15 kilometers. I'll show you what I mean by 15 kilometers once I get up to orbit in this very slow SP.
I took your base, man.
It happens, especially when it's not ammoed.
What do you mean? It was shooting at me.
Ah, it's flak and homing. Alright, so now that we're in space, you see right under docked in that right hand corner where it says Weekend Events Planet, substitute any planet their name, look over to the right and you'll see the meters. If that number exceeds 15,000, you're out of range and your stuff will be deleted after one warning. The reasoning for this is the farther you go out in space, it's more infinitely hard to go find you as somebody searching for you in space. 15 kilometers is more than enough space for you to hide, but still lets people find you in a reasonable amount of time. Another segue, we used to hide at 30 kilometers on another server. It took a 12-man faction, all of them searching, 8 hours to find us, and they knew which orbit we were in. Can you imagine what it would have been like if they didn't know what orbit we were in, and they weren't a 12-man faction looking? 10 kilometers later on in that same server after you cut it down, that server admin, it took about 3 hours to find somebody. So I balanced it out, and that 3 hours was about 4 or 5 people. So I balanced it out 15 kilometers, halfway. It should take a couple of hours for a decently sized faction to find somebody. So if you want to hide in space, you can. Just be within the limits. And last rule, rule 14. Keep all ships and bases, etc. within the 500 device count. This will help with lag, especially when you're fighting. Alright, so we have another script that will check for the devices on ships. Keep your ships under 500 devices. You can, if you want to min-max your ships, like I'm going to be honest with you, I have a 200,000 iron ship that's got 300 devices, that's combat capable. It's destroyed other people's ships. It's more than enough for what it needs to do. So I don't want to hear people whining about how 500 devices just isn't enough for their CV. Get rid of a lot of the windows. They count as devices. Get rid of all your deco blocks. Get rid of all that miscellaneous crap. You don't need 400 cargo boxes in a ship that's meant for fighting. You don't need 300
Don't
lights.
need lights.
Yeah, take out the lights. Like, guys, this is about min-maxing. This is PvP. Not everything has to look nice. Now you can make it look nice. I have a 170,000k ship with basically 400 devices in it that looks very nice. It's just seen the inside of it. It's a nice looking ship on the inside. It's also combat ready. So it's not like you can't have a nice looking ship. It's just that I don't want you guys parading around in basically a palace with thrusters and saying it's going to fight. It will crash playfields in big fights. Everybody will go down to a little bit of frames. It'll be basically a slideshow, and then you guys will complain about how the server screws up. It's not the server. It's client-side devices. So I need you to do me a favor and stay within the 500 device count per vehicle and not spawn in 400 of them. Be reasonable. That concludes our rule list. The rule list may expand. This video probably won't be updated if it expands. I'll just probably wind up explaining the rules better or sitting everybody down for a meeting about it. But that explains the rules. If you have any more questions, you can always contact Myth, Mage, or Colby in the Discord. We're always there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video.